just a general thank you to, well, first off, everyone that has shown up tonight, that has shown up today, that has shown up throughout the festival. There are a few folks that have been here every single day for almost every single thing. The fortitude, the strength, and the commitment to do that, power to you. Power to you. To you. We also want to give also just a quick round of thank yous to the folks on the team that have made this happen so far. Carmen, the other associate director, was so good. Daniel, who has been working as our videographer, taking pictures. Lisa Wagner-Corrado, our executive director. Nate Smith, an associate at Still Point and one of the festival producers. We have MA in the booth. Shout out MA, Nick Marcel is on his dinner break, because that is what it is to be a festival coordinator. So shout out Marcel for everything he's done. You probably sent me an email from him. And then Jade is outside. Jade checks you in. Isabeau left, but she was here all weekend supporting us. Those are two of our interns. So we have a great team. Everyone has made this possible. So thank you to everyone that has been a part of it so far. Your hands are going to hurt by the time I'm done talking. My goodness. And a few other important thank yous, just because as of yesterday at about like 10 o'clock in the morning, 11 o'clock in the morning, that was when we found out that we would not be going in the red with this festival. we are going to be in the black. We are going to pay out the collaborators, healthy stipends, and we are very grateful for that. So for that, we want to say thank you to the Philanthropic Ventures Foundation, McMullen and Kim Charitable Trust, and a few individual donations: James Aveliotis, Joey Eliza Haynes, Carson Becker, the Seabury Foundation, Paul and Mango Foundation, Sarah Ailey, and some an anonymous donation. And also to all of you, because every ticket, every monetary donation that has come in has supported us in that way as well. So thank you all. Thanks to those people. One more round of applause. All right, I'm done yapping. We got two more events for... Oh, thank you. All right, now I'm done yapping. We have two more events for you. Coming up next is a presentation of a new play in development from About Face Theater, presented by Dion Adai.
Hey y'all, thank you so much. It's so good to be here. My name is Dion. I am the director of education and artistic programming at About Face Theater, and yeah, I'm just glad to be here with you all. So this play is in development and it's interactive. So Kevin is actually gonna hand y'all, feel free to just walk across. If you didn't get a slip of paper and a little pen or something to write with and you want to interact with us, like, could you raise your hand? And so just so Kevin knows to come to you. Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So that is happening. So About Face Theater is a queer theater company, and our mission is to create social change and amplify LGBTQ plus voices through education, performance, and community building. So a lot of our education shows, one thing that I think is fun about this is like the education model is not like, okay, this is the play we're working on, like now we're gonna talk to y'all about that play. That is a really cool way to learn, but About Face is a bit more of like, okay, like here's just general education about what it's like to be like queer, what it's like to have hard conversations, and still need to like take care of yourself. So that's kind of like a bit more of our education program's lens, and it's been super cool to be like director. I've been in that position for a couple months. I was an education manager before, so I just like have, I don't know, I feel like this program has a lot of potential, and I was part of our touring showcast originally, like in 2017 or so, and so like this show, About Face has done a lot of different touring shows. Usually they go to like schools and community spaces and stuff like that, and so this is one of our newer touring shows that we're still developing. And like by still developing, I mean, I was on the phone with my co-writer earlier, was like, okay, is this gonna make sense? So like fresh. You are some of the first ears to get to hear this, so that's really exciting. Yes. Like, our artistic director hasn't even heard this yet, so you might be like, you know, what you about to get into? Just, Megan, come along for the ride. So, anyway, I feel like this is gonna be really cool and really helpful. After the show, we'll have a little time for discussion, so y'all can like share what you're feeling, and I've got some questions I'm curious about. But yeah, I'll just go through it like with the lens that it is gonna be for schools, but we also like do a lot of all-age programming, and we have another touring show that I feel like can be geared towards an even younger audience. So with this one, maybe think about that, like in the who's it for, and you know why now, and that kind of stuff. Did I say all my little points? Let's see. I think I did, yeah. Oh, okay, so I'm one of the writers on this project, and I'm also directing, and I'll be rating stage direction for tonight. So I'll just be off to the side. We have some incredible actors here for you, very down to like roll with the punches, and yeah, I think that's all I really have to say to set the thing up. So thank you for being here, and I'm now introducing our performers to read for the very first time in front of people. Life Out Loud, Voices of Pride.
There are about 50 ways this play could start.
True.
Let's go through them one by one.
Ooh, wait, are you sure it's a good use of time? Don't, you know we do have like 30 minutes.
Fine. Ideas?
Let's start with the one thing we all have in common. We are all so tired of waking up to bad news.
Who read something terrible, dystopian, some headline this week? Raise your hand.
Everyone, yeah. Yeah, we're getting bombarded with reports that web pages mentioning LGBTQ people have been completely removed from the CDC, Justice Department, Labor Department.
Y'all wanna know why? Because we do.
Well, partially because one of the most powerful people in the world signed an order saying the United States will only recognize two sexes, male and female, and that they are assigned at birth and unchanging.
The mythological binary sex, male or female, which matches up with the binary genders, man and woman.
Right. The Social Security for LGBTQI+ people page now has been updated to LGBTQ people, removing the T for trans and the I for... Does anyone know what the I stands for?
Intersex.
Yeah, intersex. Thank you. Intersex people. I didn't learn about intersex folks until college in Gender Studies 101. In high school biology class, they usually tell you males have XY chromosomes and females have XX. So it was a gag to find out people can be born with any of several sex characteristics. You can have a vagina and XY chromosomes, or penis and a uterus, and the list goes on. There's like 40 different ways that being intersex can present.
So if federal agencies must remove anything that promotes gender ideology that denies the realities of biological sex,
The very existence of the I, intersex people, automatically brings biological sex into question. But what about the T? Why are they trying to exclude trans people and in some cases remove LGBTQIA people altogether? That's the key. That's what we need to find out.
I got it.
It being a boyfriend? A new attitude? Because you've been a little off.
Okay, rude and rude. Now, after our last conversation, I went looking for the map and it's here.
Like a physical map? X marks the spot section?
I was at the library and this book I'd never seen before caught my eye. Think about it like this. What's one thing we're all say about queer people? We all have in common, besides Sean.
The audacity?
The audacity. And where did they get the audacity from?
Ooh, good question. 2025, and people are screaming, crying, throwing all because drag bunches and who's using what restroom. Imagine what it was like in the 40s, the 90s. It's always been dangerous.
Yes, we've always been hunted. And yet the gays been hosting house parties, free clinics, and marches for a long time.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere along the way, they felt the fear but found the audacity to keep going.
But how?
book, after one is holding, starts to float, and we hear whispers, gay ones, and it glows, and the pages suddenly start flipping slowly. The actors catch glimpses of the text together.
Huh. It reminds me of looking through family photo albums and watching home videos and DVDs. Why does that one make me think about the stories my cousin Mel would be telling me about?
Oh my god, my auntie,
My siblings,
my grand-uncle.
my friends.
This reminds me of the world we dreamed of. The one we'll win in the end.
This reminds me of floats. That sometimes freedom can be a boat, sturdy, small, a paddle or two, a few days through nobody telling you what to do, who to love, just ocean, just water, just limitless water, lights and bubbles, and breath. Okay, that was poignant. Should we read it? What are we waiting for?
I think we already started. Those words had magic. I already feel different.
Are we tripping? I'm scared.
Don't be. We're in this together. Call me Bo whenever you need to. That's breathe in, breathe out. Let's close our eyes and try it together. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again, breathe out. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We open our eyes and plunge into the stories.
Chapter 1. Zara Baker's story.
Okay. So this one actually starts out with a collective song. So if you could all hold out a note for me, I'm gonna have you hum. Would you care to join me? All right. Okay. It's gonna be. Okay. Feel free to drop out and take a breath if you need to. The ensemble will hold you. I will be a witness for our lives. I will be a witness for our lives. The underground for our lives. We are the queer folks that are black and brown, who will be a witness for our lives, who will be a witness for our lives.
I will be a witness. My first day of college, I had a friend who was a year older than me, and we'd gone to the same high school and then gone to the same college, Butler University in Indianapolis. And he invited me over for lunch. Robert, my best friend.
We had a great time reminiscing and catching up about old friends from Lafayette, Indiana.
And then there was like this awkward silence of, I thought maybe we had outgrown each other. And then he finally said,
I have to tell you something.
okay.
I'm gay. And she said,
Okay. And he said,
really?
and I said, yeah.
Okay. Then do you want to go to the bar with me tonight?
I said, sure. But, Robert, I've never been to an chaperone parties, so like, what am I going to wear?
Let's get you ready.
Getting dressed, fun with clothes, getting ready for the ball. They arrive.
So by 10 o'clock, it was time to go to the club. I got my fake ID and everything, so we go in. And did I mention it was the 80s?
Music, lights, ensemble, go, full on 80s. Cute club scene of people flirting, having fun, dance sequence, hello choreo, light shift, the show is about to start and the MC takes the stage. A woman in a mermaid dress, and a great big beehive looking like Elizabeth Taylor, Twiggy, singing this song from Chorus Line called What I Did for Love, Sasha Dior, and she's looking like Naomi Campbell, and she's singing the Pointer Sisters.
That was amazing. Those women were so gorgeous.
Yep, incredible female impersonators, right?
What? I had no idea.
Well, just wait till the bar closes at 3 o'clock and the lights come up. You can see they're after 5.
So we did. We closed the bar and I got to know these women and they were really wonderful and I ended up spending more time than I should have at that club. That club was my entry point into a community of people just feeling free to express themselves, to be who they were and find community amongst accepting people. That allowed me to embrace my journey of exploration of I had considered myself to be bi, but in Indiana, in Lafayette, that was not a welcoming environment. So, to find a place that allowed me to explore what my options were was very exciting to me.
And then a couple years later, we moved into an apartment building that was filled with queer people of color, these 80-year-old formerly burlesque dancers.
So, these women that were like 80 years old, with these long nails and painted faces, I mean, still at 80, they were like glorious, right? I think about RuPaul saying, "You're always in drag." That's what it felt like in that building. Everybody was like, whoever I am, I'm dressing up for it. I'm going to the laundry room, but I'm dressing up for it. But I found a great sense of community in this building where when I moved in, I was coming from a bad relationship, so I had nothing. They all had this thing that whoever moved in that didn't have furniture, there was this floating couch. You could get a couch. So I got a couch. And the couch was so old that it didn't even have legs anymore, but it was a couch.
We also pooled our money together so we could buy food in bulk. That way, we made sure everyone had enough to eat. We potlucked a couple times a week together. No one went hungry in the building.
There was Charlie. His door was always open for advice. The thing about him was that he was a minister at church on Wednesdays and Sundays, but the church wasn't accepting of him as a gay, so basically he was living this dual life because the religious community wouldn't accept him being out, but the rest of the time with us, he was out, you know? So that was Charlie.
There was Roger, the black Fred Astaire. His moves, he was so debonair. He had all the moves.
Then Jerry. His name was Jerry Lewis, which was really funny because he was this short little black guy that was a tap dancer and stuff. Jerry Lewis was in our building.
I did modern dance and visual art. I had a drop-in apartment on the 2nd floor. I played music as a way to come on in. My music was on, and that meant you could stop by. Basically, before you even went to your own apartment, you stopped by my place to hang out and say what's going on. And I would teach people dance moves for the club.
Dancing is building. Everyone is dancing and it reaches a party pitch. They look good. Everyone's got it, and when they're finished, maybe the song ends, people drift off, it gets quiet. It's the middle of the night. We hear a spark and then fire. Zara is caught alone in the light, scared.
One night there was a fire.
One night there was a fire in the dumpster on the side of the building, and the spark flew into one of the hallways, and it started to light the building on fire. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. Then all of us had to go around to all the elders, the ex-burlesque dancers, the 80-year-old elders, and get them up and make sure we got them out of the building. And we all stood together in the parking lot waiting for the fire trucks, for the fire people to take care of the building. We all just stood outside, waiting, in the middle of the night.
So, you know, in musical theater, you have to do auditions. You always have a dance, a monologue, and a song. I was good with the monologue and the song, but my dancing wasn't so strong. And Jerry was good with the dancing, but his singing wasn't so strong. So we'd always trade off. I had an audition coming up, and I needed some help to learn the time step. Do y'all know what that is? Yeah. So Jerry decided in that moment he was going to teach me how to do the time step. So in the middle of the fire, we're out in the parking lot learning to time step.
That's so many layers. Like, what is time? Time is suspended. It's in the past, it's in the future, it's everywhere. How you use your time in what could be one of the most difficult periods of your life is profound.
And I was struggling to get the step, but Jerry was really patient with me. One by one, they joined us.
Even the burlesque dancers.
Everyone practicing the time step.
That's how we lived in that building.
That's how we lived in that community. How everybody was with each other, and how the generations appreciated and supported each other, and everybody was accepted.
The thing is that shortly after that, we didn't realize that the other fire, the other spark had started, which was
People stopped dancing through these next few lines, one by one.
The gut feeling of gloom, the impending gloom that was coming, and then the whispers.
and then the virus that started to spread through our community.
And one by one, we lost all of those people. All of those people were wiped out except for Robert and me.
And we actually moved to Chicago. We lived to remember those who didn't have access to the medicine.
People of color in the queer community were the least ones to get the attention that was needed. So a lot of people perished in that, and I want to always remember them. And I want people to know that they existed, that they were creative, they were bright, they were brilliant, they were loving and supportive. They were always there for each other in communities. So I am because they were. That's how I honor them.
Ritual completes. Maybe Aretha Franklin's version of What I Did for Love plays here.
That was beautiful. Let's take a moment to thank Zara and her friends. Thank you, Zara, Robert, Charlie, Jerry, Roger. Thank you for witnessing.
You know, I heard that AIDS was called cancer for the gays in the 80s.
What? That's terrible.
It makes me think how access to accurate and inclusive information about sexual health can actually be life-saving.
All that darkness, and they still is.
A bell dings.
Y'all heard that, right? We're onto something. Let's dig deeper. What helps you when the world feels dark? When it feels like things are on fire, let's get that pen and slip of paper you grabbed on your way in. What's one thing you do to feel better? To get yourself out of a slump? And what's one thing you tell yourself when you're feeling sad? Write those two things down on paper if you have it. I'm going to repeat. What's one thing you do when you're feeling sad? Write that on a piece of paper. And or what's one thing you do to feel better when you're in a slump?
Got like a minute or two for this section.
Think about the things that you tell yourself during those times.
Well, I tried taking it, so.
Oh, when you massage it, yeah, somewhere.
Yeah. Does anyone want to share out? Anyone got something right there? Yeah, we got one right there.
I like to go out into nature, and if I don't have time to find a park or a forest preserve, then I will, or the lakefront, then I will at least go outside of my house and walk, or go outside of the building and just breathe fresh air.
Yeah.
You're a part of Earth. It's so important to root yourself. I like that. Anyone else want to share?
I remember the world around me is more important and I act.
Sort of like outsourcing your own self, taking it outward.
Turning the anxiety into action.
30-second dance party.
30 seconds. Let it out. Yeah. I like to cook with my friends too.
Close with your friends.
Yeah, communally. It's
Oh.
lovely. That felt nice. I feel like we really shared something there. Something we need to hear.
The book begins to shake and whisper again after one picks it up and it opens to a specific page.
Chapter 2. Dion rocks the boat. Here, you read this one.
Black and queer. Identities I hold dear sometimes feel like oil meets water. To be black is to have the backs of our brothers holding them up, a unified chorus reminding the world that their lives matter. Yet when we call out sexism, homophobia, transphobia, suddenly our same straight black brothers have protests about us, ignoring their own power to oppress. Even black women. We ride for each other so hard. You see a black woman with cute hair on the street and you just gotta say, "Hey girl!" You did that. But when it comes to queerness, we hear, "He seems a little feminine to me." Or, "Oh, if my child was gay, I would." It's a shame. Like, really? We're gonna do the same thing they do to each us, to each other. Way to learn from your oppressor.
To my younger self. Hey girl, hey. Wake up. You're always falling asleep. In class, in church, in front of the TV, head first into a good book. You can doze off anywhere. Time to get up, baby girl. You see, your eyes are only half open. You're the token, black girl, a copper coin in a sea of silver change. So you want to go with the flow. Sit back, ride the wave, and never rock the boat. I'm here to tell you, the boat won't rock anyway. These waves are harsh. You hold your tongue while people talk about your skin, your body, your blackness. Wake up, speak up. Even when it feels like you don't have the words, they'll come. Rock the boat, baby girl. Don't let the boat rock you.
You ate that. Rock the boat. I can really see that as a mantra. Rock the boat.
Rock the boat.
Rock the boat. That piece feels too familiar. Like being the only black person in a white space is one thing, and being the only queer person in a black space is a whole other issue.
Yeah, intersectionality. The way the different identities a person holds can feel like standing at a crossroads. Being black, queer, and a woman. In the past, people in my life made me feel like one needs to hold more weight than the other.
It's impossible to ignore one when they all affect the way the world treats you.
Exactly. I'd like to explain this to my friend Lydia. We were close in middle school. But when I look back, I realized she said so many things that made me uncomfortable.
I've had experiences like that. There are always like subtle things that were hard to call out. I'm trying to remember the word, but I can only think of the definition. Does anyone know what that word is quickly before I find it in my index? Microaggression, yes, okay. Common, verbal, behavioral, or environmental slights, intentional or unintentional, that communicate hostile, derogatory, or negative attitudes towards members of marginalized groups.
That's it. Even if she didn't mean to, she really made me feel bad and just othered because of who I am.
Sounds like it's time for you to rock the boat.
I need some help brainstorming. Are y'all done?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's say you need to have a hard conversation with a friend. What would you need to feel prepared? What's a boundary you set? Like, what was the subject of the last hard conversation you had? Feel free to discuss those friend you came with or choose a neighbor. The questions are also on the paper that you got, so if you need a refresher, look at that.
We'll start a timer for a few minutes.
And then more household.
Once you've got your boundaries, you figure out your feeling, but I'm not sure I feel like it's just like the way I'm not. Like not getting so in your head in that meeting,
But I'm like, okay, is this person
This is your 30 seconds warning, 30 seconds. And then we'll come back.
like, this is my issue.
like how to do it differently than like all the other times. Just practice the
What's up, Well, I don't know, because it just says what's boundary set, and I'm assuming it's I mean, or it could be based on what you're talking about. It makes me yeah, that's what I was like.
Alrighty, we're gonna bring it back, wrap it around, circle back. Yeah. Does anyone want to share what they talked about? I heard a lot.
Sounds like there was a lot sharing like between y'all, so.
No, I heard it.
And you know what? I think that's yeah, sure.
For the second one, just boundary that set is like recognizing the difference between arguing and fighting, and like, you know, when you're starting to hurt each other intentionally, just like taking a break and wait till you can just argue again.
Conflict is natural, but once you're fighting, you're not getting it. Neither of you are getting it.
Yeah, and I really liked how you added in like clear boundary. When we start hurting each other's feeling intentionally, big pause. Like That was not the assignment.
Yeah.
We were saying that having a clear idea and a clear understanding personally of like what the issue is. You know, it's very easy to just go in front of someone and be like, I'm upset, and then they'll be like, all right, what you want me to do about it?
Yeah.
You know, you can get lucky in relationships that there are some people who you can go to and say that, and they'll be like, all right, I can hear that I upset you, let's talk about it, let's figure it out. But there's some people that don't have that kind of kindness in them. And so being clear about like, okay, why am I upset, and like reasoning it out before going into the conversation helps me feel grounded and able to have the conversation about what's actually wrong, instead of just being like, it's my feelings and I just need you to know that there's an issue right now.
Right.
Anyone else in the queue? Go ahead.
We also said, excuse me, just they can be very vulnerable, and so having the ability to like make an agreement, like if things start to feel too heated or one of us feels triggered, we can take a break.
Yeah.
I love that. No, yeah. Yeah. Being clear about what it is, what the issue is, and that again, we're not trying to hurt each other.
Yeah.
And that pause button is always good to have. Thank you. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm looking forward to trying these when I talk to Lydia.
The whispers from the book are back suddenly, and the book shifts in anticipation.
Here we go again.
Chapter 3. Now what?
The con is very long, and the masses are not very smart. And even the smartest are susceptible to a good story. And what if I told you a fairy tale? Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, a little black girl sat up in a bed, but she wasn't just in bed, she was floating above it. In this far-off land, most humans mirror you or I, normal. Constructs of blood and bone. But others were different. For you see, something had awakened inside of them. A secret whisper in the twists of their DNA that allowed them to do things that the average faraway citizen could not. This gift to see the unseen. As that little black girl floats above her bed, so uncertain, frightened, confused, she is sure of one thing. She has to find out if there are other awakened out there like her. As she grows up, there are times when she can see that glimmer of light that outlines certain passersby at the corner of her eye, and when she turns to look, gone. Until one day she's walking home, and finally she catches it. A building that shimmers in dark shadow, beautiful of city and like nothing she's ever seen before. It is strange and familiar all at once. The place calls to her. And she answers. People who shine under dim lights, who laugh amidst loud music, who dance with abandon so reckless their feet don't touch the ground. What could be more freeing than this?
This is life out loud. Be proud, even when the world keeps pushing you to hide.
Life out loud. It sounds cliche, but if you can't express what's inside, you might die. Love out loud. Identity be damned, gender dysmorphia blossoms in the light.
Laugh out loud. Giggles bubble up, a balm to soothe insecurities.
Turn the volume all the way up. Bass bumping kind of loud, loud as you can be if we say it 3 times fast.
Click, clap my heels just right and swirl. Ain't nothing that can touch me. And if there's a spell or seance I need to do to feel better, bring it on. The hocus and the pocus would be better than this self-hate cyclone. Secular cycle, never free, only focused on survival.
Survival isn't enough. Hello? I'm trying to thrive.
You said it.
At the crossroads of cross-dressing, with an abundance of binary choices, if I disguise my desires, dial back this urge to express, I shouldn't wear the dress, or should I? Should I? Do I do me real big, so maybe I can provide a soft, safe space for queer folks to land, a pillow, a puff, a big, fluffy cloud where we hold hands above judgmental glances.
The wealthiest people cloak their crimes in our joy, co-opting corners of the rainbow for a quick buck, pointing fingers in gilded, glistening rings when they're the ones who stole the gold.
The con is very long, and the masses are not very smart. And even the smartest are susceptible to a good story.
Stories like, there isn't enough food to go around. There are only two genders. Money is real. What are some other stories we're being told? Feel free to just shout it out.
You are not enough.
One more time?
You are not enough.
You are not enough.
A story.
We live to work.
Ah, a story.
Scarcity mindset.
There's only so much to go around.
Yeah. What if we could rewrite these stories? If you didn't have to worry about work or pay rent, if utilities paid themselves, what would you be doing? Shout it out.
This.
Theater.
Yeah.
Writing in a cabin.
Keep on hike right now.
Lounging.
Lounging.
Rats. And who would you be caring for? Who would you be showing up for? And how? Wait, actually, let's take a second here. Can we close our eyes and imagine this together? Yeah, maybe we can start with some breath. Exactly. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 2, 3, 4. Good. If all your basic needs were met tomorrow, where would you be going first? Whose house are you showing up at? Who are you helping? What community are you showing up for? How would you use your voice? What would be your very first step? Ooh. Can we breathe that in? Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe out. 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. Good. Let's come back. Gently open your eyes. Gently. These questions are scary to some.
Transformative to others.
Necessary to all of us. Keys to the kingdom.
The book shakes and flips open one last time.
Epilogue. Ocean Vuong, a queer Vietnamese writer, says it best. Being queer saved my life. Often we see queerness as deprivation. But when I look at my life, I saw that queerness demanded an alternative innovation from me. I had to make alternative routes. It made me curious. It made me ask, is this enough for me?
The book slams shut. Actor 1 and Actor 2 look at each other and flip. Okay, do we have maybe 5 minutes No, I'll just say what's sticking with you. Is anything sticking with you?
The stories of the community apartment building.
Yeah. Zara's story.
The power of imagining what could be, right?
Oh wait, I wanted to record voice notes part. Can I do that? Is that okay, everybody?
Yes.
I'll just send you the recording after.
Right, okay. Oh, that's perfect too. All right, go ahead.
Just the whole emergence of the AIDS crisis. I was here in Chicago and was in my 20s when the AIDS crisis was strong and knew a lot of people that died, walked with a lot of people who died, and that really was very deep for me to hear those reflections.
I think anytime you engage with like a slightly more like non-traditional form of storytelling, so like there was a couple moments where it was like almost like poetry, or when you use this as a choir, that was
As a choir.
That's what I was gonna say. I just loved that element of participation that you didn't feel like you had to do it over and over and over again, and it was like enough, and it didn't feel like a weird thing that we only did the singing part once, because it felt so whole. Like I loved how you welcomed us into it and then directed the process, and then like sang separately from us, but we kept going. Like it was like lovely. I really liked that. Thank you.
The performers. Okay, I'm gonna add. Okay, go ahead. Yes, please.
I wanted to say interdependence and collective liberation through interdependence.
And just say it one more time.
Interdependence and collective liberation through interdependence.
Oh, I love that. Okay.
When the friend came out and was like immediately accepted, especially being at stands there, being a hug.
Yeah.
My dad didn't get that opportunity and might kill him.
Yeah. So what was the last thing you said?
My dad didn't get that opportunity. He came out by accident when I found something, and he might be probably gonna kill him.
Thank you for sharing that. I guess my other question that I'll ask, and it can layer on top of this one, so if you still have something, you can say that. But what do you think the show is trying to accomplish? What? Is that a wild question to ask?
Empowerment.
Empowerment.
A better world.
Better world.
Humanizing the people you read about in the news. Like,
Humanizing the people you hear about in the news, the people you read about.
Helping young people imagine a queer future.
Helping young people imagine a queer future.
Right, a queer future, I go one step, even just a better future.
Better future. Oh, future and all.
Yes.
One thing we've been asking folks, like just like kind of around the play or at recent events that we've had as a theater company, is like, what is a message you would leave to the queer youth of 2055, specifically because it's about Face's 30th anniversary. So it's like we are still gonna be here, you know, like, and we know that, and so like we want to like think about what we want to leave those folks, you know. Okay, Kevin, how much time do I got?
My
Check.
phone's dead.
Okay.
So as long as are we at 40 yet?
No,
Okay.
3 minutes.
Let's cut it off at 40.
Okay, perfect. Okay, let's see real quick. What is the thing? I don't know if that's gonna help. Well, okay, I'll ask this, and it might be long for 3 minutes. But so there's these learning goals that like we are thinking about, and I'm like, I wonder like if any of these is resonating with you. Maybe I'll just read through the list, and then you can raise your hand if you're interested in one of them. That might be how we do it. So like, this is gonna be like a 30 to 45 minute show. And so here are some of the other learning goals that we're like, okay, and then I'll read it again and you can raise your hand which one you think you would like to see in this play. So we could touch on misgendering folks and like how to respond when that happens. We could touch on supporting someone like when they're coming out or like how to come out. We could touch on calling out privilege, like what those conversations can look like. And we also could touch on class solidarity. So, when you raise your hand, I know they're all great, but if there's one that you're leaning towards more, first one was misgendering folks and what to do after. Okay. The next one was how
Look
to.
for multiple?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll let you. Alright, I'll say that again. Misgendering folks and what to do after. Okay, we got a good chunk of hands. How to support someone coming out. Someone coming out. Okay, maybe more somewhere now. Maybe more. Okay, there's more. Okay, so calling out privilege and what those conversations look like. Are you found it?
Yeah,
Okay.
the first one was called, the second one was working on.
Okay, awesome. And then class solidarity.
I'm sorry, that was not helpful.
You vote for everyone.
You voted for all of us. If it might be helpful, the numbers went up with every question.
Okay, that is helpful. That is helpful for our recording. Okay, great. I think that's great. Y'all, thank you so much. We're about to go into our rehearsal process later this week, and we are going to bring on. Okay, yes, and so we're gonna like have this play touring, like so it'll be touring later this spring. So if you're like, you know, a community space, you know, an educator that might like to see something like this at their school, we'll, you know, it'll be fluctuating a little bit. Cause I was just thinking about hearing it. I was like, I asked about rent and paying utilities, but a lot of the high schoolers will be like, you know.
Resonated in this space.
Okay, but it worked for this, right? So we will shift some of that stuff. But yeah, you can find my info on About Face's website. I am Dion at About Face Theater. And we also have a really cool, a bunch of free programming coming up at the end of March. And it's called Regen Studio. It'll be like at the Goodman Theater in their Alice like education wing. And there'll just be a bunch of free classes, free readings for you to check out. So yeah, feel free that last week of March, check us out online and all the dates and info are there. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're going to do that? You want the sheets, the half sheets?
Well, do y'all want them? You do
Oh,
want
the
them?
pens, yeah, the writing utensils. Please bring them back. Bring them back. Pass them to the end of your row. Do it old school, elementary school style. We'll take a short 5-minute break to get set up for the theater-wide performance. Thank you, Dion. Thank you, About Face. Again, all those classes at the end of March are free. I have friends that would say, if it's for free, then it's for me. So make sure you check those out. I'll see y'all in the next 5 minutes.
Have a couple. Thank you. That's another important show too. That's like, you know, it's a little more like a video gamey, a little more like gender movies, like I like that. So, I kind of have my little heart. Yeah. Well, they're right too. That never happened. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
They still start with the. Did not have to. Yeah. Oh no, I haven't.
Yeah, if you want to
Slash
keep your seat
full on
safe,
this.
it's wrong.
I think it's.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there.
Thank you so much. Any other details right here?
I can also say.
Yes, it is. Are you even younger than us?
Yes, we did. We literally did.
Want to go here, maybe? What?
No, we like Smash Power.
Okay, great.
Thank you for that.
I wish I would have.
Apparently the memory card's full.
Don't worry about it, it's just for the stream. Okay, that's what I wanted to check.
Perfect, yes, thank you.
Where are you heading out?
Welcome back, welcome back. A little more relaxing. I got you. We're doing a little juggle here.
You have to go, fight for my life. I ate food in 3 days, like an hour ago. Yeah. Stanley. Good, man. You excited? Nervous. Hey. Can't do nothing now. I'm not trying to talk to him. Congratulations. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. And I remember we had the conversation about this at Brian's thing way back when, and you were telling me about the book. I remember. So I'm glad that you said that. I love trash upstairs. Let me get it out of the way so folks can see. Okay. I'll catch up with you real quick. Let's catch up.
Let's do it. Congratulations. Are you going to keep your outfit?
Doing pretty well.
I know, I gotta say bye to you now.
Oh, okay.
Keep going. That is the most excellent.
Oh, thank you.
No.
Yeah, this is a solo. Okay, no worries. Sorry about that.
check, 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 check.
Avery, can I send a sheet? Some coins. Oh, is she watching? I thought she was doing the dance.
Check, check, check.
Speakers, right here. The other one right here.
Check, 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 check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Check.
You got one right here. You got one back here. I got two back here.
Check. 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 1, 2, 3. Hello. Check. Don't talk very loud. Hi, sir.
Let's make sure all the chairs.
I don't know if I can sit here and see the camera, but if somebody wants to,
You probably can.
Yeah.
So that you can save that.
Check, check. It is.
I think this is probably some seats up on the top of there.
Can you, one back, the closest to the word.
Actually,
There's still the best race.
It's one thing or another. Check.
Is that up? We have someone figuring out.
When I do that, that'll be the biggest help.
That would be something. Are we together like a minute or two?
Yeah.
Someone downstairs.
Oh, okay, let's just, we can take it.
the way the lighting is, the two people on the end.
All right, I'll talk to them. Thank you.
Hey, is there anyone we can talk about?
Is that enough space for people on the floor? That's good.
No, we're trying to make it happen.
That's,
There's no way.
it's open.
Thank you. They don't know what you're doing.
That's good. The wife. Christoph, you want to try? I think we might have.
Check, check, check. It seems to be better than it was. A little bit. Okay.
What is that?
Hello, 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 hello. That's good?
Yeah. Oh my goodness, look at all these people. Whatever shall we do? Hello, 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 hello. Welcome to the 2025 inaugural Social Change Theater Festival. We have had a jam-packed weekend here the last 3 days. Thank you for joining us for this final performance. As we wrap up, I've just been like kind of searching through my head about like, oh, what is something meaningful to say? Da 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 da. And then I was looking over the notes from when we met. I want to say, not even the first time we even talked about this in the summer, but in the fall when we met and we when we talked about it last summer. Into the fall when we sat down and we were like, what does it take to make a festival happen in less than 6 months? And my goodness, the learning experience that this has been. We've learned so many things. And I would say that one of the things that I've learned that I am most grateful for in this moment is the community that is around Chicago and the people that are willing to show up. Even more people showing up. Please come in. There's a couple seats up there. There's a few seats on the sides. Please come on in. Just a few round of thank yous. Sorry, we gotta do the thank yous. First off, just to the team that was made this happen so far. We have MA in the booth. We have my gosh, sorry Marcel. We have Marcel, who's been our coordinator. We have Jade right there. We have Liza. We have Nate. We have Carmen. We have Daniel. We have Isabeau. We're a small but mighty team, and we couldn't have done any of this without everybody's help. So one quick round of applause. Oh, did I say Liza? Oh my God, Lisa, my boss. All of the wonderful organizations, individuals, community partners that have been willing to honestly jump out on a limb when I sent them an email out of nowhere in January and said, hey, we're doing a festival, would you like to be a part of it? And they have been nothing but gracious and giving. So thank you to, when you look at that poster outside and you see all those names on there, thank you to every single one of those people for making this possible. So one more round. And the last round is for the people that made it so that we won't go broke. Literally Sunday, yesterday at about 10 a.m., 11 a.m. is when we got the final word that we would be able to not go into the red for this festival. So, that's how I feel, because I was sweating for my job. We want to say thank you to the Philanthropic Ventures Foundation and to the McMullen and Kim Charitable Trust for some large donations that really made this possible. And from individual donations as well to James Eveliotis, Joey and Liza Haynes, Carson Becker, the Seabury Foundation, Paula Mango Foundation, Sarah Ailey, and then we also have some anonymous donations as well. So just a big round of thank you to all the people that made this. It has been a really long week, and I have done a lot of yapping. And I am so grateful to be able to be quiet and present our final performance for the festival. A reading of Tortured by Blue by Stanley Howard, presented through Theater Y.
$19.95 was glued to my eyes when he had took a flight, his body was down. Oh, somebody money pennies at the front, he caught my quarter share, was left in his tummy. They didn't understand what I was seeing. The ambulance rushing away to the scene. My grandma told me step away from the screen. I went back to watching TV screens, I'm desensitized. Still my sense of empathy insufficient to find out my tears. Growing up, I had to poke you, play with your life, you could die by the fear. Through a God with a prayer on pay, we just victimized, so the church is here. A lot of was preacher on the corner with a blast of cold, that peace to wear. I'm gonna introduce my brother-in-law. Woo! All right, we good. I'm actually gonna do this with no mic until we get that figured out. All right, you can start me over. Turn me up a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna need a therapist, a counselor, a psychiatrist, really like all that shit. I'm gonna need a therapist, and a counselor, and a psychiatrist, really like all that shit. Look, I got my good days, I got bad, but it seems my bad outweigh my good. I know it's like that cause I'm black, and I come from out the hood. I got like 10 dead friends, they all died way too soon. I saw them sprouting up, they got cut before they even bloom. It's crazy you cast me sharp by the age of 22, and I'm like 30 now. What that mean, man, I'm coming soon? Wow, scary. I heard someone say very. I hope I don't get ice for my cream or get my top pop like cherries. I pray to God on the Sunday that I get to see a Monday. They call you a joke, that's not okay, cause jokes get cracked, not funny. Wow, I'm gonna need a therapist, a counselor, a psychiatrist, really like all that shit. I'm gonna need a therapist, and a counselor, and a psychiatrist, really like all that shit, like all that. I'm gonna need a therapist, hey, and a counselor, and a psychiatrist, really like all that shit, like all that. I'm gonna need really like all that shit. Roll if you want to, smoke if you want to, blow if you want to, sip if you want to, trip if you want to, live if you want to. Everything's good in moderation. Everything's good in moderation. In moderation. So I'm gonna blow if I want to, smoke if I want to, blow if I want to, trip if I want to, live if I want to, because everything's good in moderation. Everything's good in moderation, right? In moderation. These are things that I gotta do to keep my mind right and make it through. Don't judge me because my vice. I know these drugs ain't gonna make it right, but this gon' do for the moment. Won't it? Would get help, but I ain't got money. Damn, a lot of new shit popping up on the daily. A brother going crazy. I'ma need a therapist, and a counselor, and a psychiatrist. Really like all that shit. I'ma need a therapist, hey, and a counselor, and a psychiatrist. Really like all that shit, like all that. I'ma need a therapist, hey, and a counselor, and a psychiatrist. Really like artists. I'm a leader. Really like all that shit, yeah.
Tortured by Balloon, The Chicago Police Torture Scandal by Stanley Howard. Tortured by Balloon, The Plague is a dramatization that draws from the extensive historical record of the Chicago police torture scandal to bring this unbelievable American tragedy to the stage. Characters.
Emmett Tilson, black, 18 years old, accused cop killer.
Leonardo Mack, black, elderly, witness to screams.
Richard D., white, middle-aged, top county prosecutor.
Michelle Johnson, 35, assistant public defender.
Dave Duke, 26 years old, assistant county prosecutor.
Ronnie Bounds, black, 42 years old, on death row, wrongly convicted.
Act 1, Scene 1, Chicago. Silence, dark, an empty stage. November 1st, 1984, early afternoon. One of the largest manhunts in Chicago's history is over. According to reports, Chicago police arrested a man they believe shot and killed Officer James O'Malley 14 days ago on the city's south side. No further details were given, and we'll have more on this breaking news as information becomes available. This is Chicago's #1 news radio, 106.5 DDM. Scene 2, Area 2 Police Headquarters, a sun-setting sky, November 1st, 1984, late afternoon.
My wife and I had lived in this building next to this damn police station for over 30 years. And hearing screams coming out of this building is nothing unusual. This is why my neighbors and I, we call this building the House of Screams. Sometimes the screams go on for a few seconds, and sometimes the screams go on for hours and hours throughout the night, making it almost impossible to sleep. It pains me to know that somebody is always calling for help from this damn building. It could be one of my loved ones, or it could be one of yours. My wife, she wants to move, but we can't go nowhere. We don't have no money. We stuck in this hellhole next to this police station. heard a woman screaming so loud the other day that we thought that she was in labor. It went on and on for so long that I started to get up and put my clothes on and go over there yet again. But my wife stopped me, just like she had done so many times before in the past. Something truly bizarre is going on over there. And it's very confusing. And I don't know what to do. So I want to ask you all this burning question. Who in the hell do you call when you hear screams coming out of a police station?
Act 2, Scene 1, Office of the Cook County State's Attorney. Richard D. is sitting at his desk when the phone rings. November 1st, 1984, late afternoon.
Superintendent Bridge, my secretary said you were on the line. What can I do for you? You caught him? That's great news! This 14-day manhunt is finally over! Where is he now? Area 2 headquarters. Is the media there? This is a very high-profile case. I'm going to send my top assistant to Area 2 to be on hand. The pressure is on to get this right. The prosecution of this cop killer is really important, especially to my career. I'm aiming to be mayor of Chicago. Yes, I've heard a lot about the excessive force complaints in the newspapers, and there's been a lot of calls to my office from the black community and from the leaders and public officials to complain. I know. A lot of people did get hurt. And I know your officers did what they had to do to get those confessions. Don't worry. The mayor and I have talked extensively about this, and we both agree that none of the complaints will be investigated. So go ahead and pass on the word to your investigators to disregard all the complaints. You don't have to tell me. I'm positive Lieutenant John Bird will do, and his crew are working right now to get a confession, as usual. I'm going to call a press conference, ASAP, to announce that I'm going to seek the death penalty. I agree 100%. Let Lieutenant Bird know that my office appreciates everything he's doing, and tell him to get that conviction.
Act 3, Scene 1, Cook County Circuit Court Building. Assistant Public Defender Michelle Johnson and Emmett are sitting at a table in an interview room. June 10, 1985, 10 a.m.
As you just heard, the judge granted us a 15-minute recess before the hearing to throw out your confession set to begin.
I want to go home.
You will have a good chance to go home if the judge throws out the confession because there's no other evidence against you.
I didn't kill that officer! They forced me to sign that confession!
Just tell the judge that when you get on the witness stand.
They beat the hell out of me, repeatedly suffocating me and electrocuting me, over and over, with some wires hanging from a black box.
Just take your time and tell the judge exactly what happened.
They kept calling me nigger and boy. Like, I thought they was gonna kill me.
As you know, the judge already denied our motion to bring in some of the other guys who filed complaints against these same cops.
Why?
The judge ruled that the similarities were not enough to establish a pattern or MO, because some of them were shocked at the cattle prod and not with what is known as the black box, and some of them had guns put to their heads during the Russian roulette and not suffocated with the plastic bags.
That makes no sense. A crooked cop is a crooked cop.
Just tell the judge what happened to you.
I was on my way to college. I want to go home, please.
That's why we're having this hearing. These cops been torturing black men and women in Area 2 for years. And now, this 18-year-old boy is most likely to get the death penalty if this judge doesn't throw out the bogus confession. White cops, white prosecutors, and white judges in America means that a black man has no chance. Emmett Till was lynched in the South in the 1950s. And the same racist system of American justice is trying to lynch Emmett Tillson in the North in the 1980s.
Act 4, Scene 1, Cook County Circuit Court Building. State's Attorney Richard D. and Assistant State's Attorney Dave Dukes sitting at a table in an interview room. June 10, 1987, 10 p.m.
Looks like this kid has a good case. He has the injuries to prove his claims of abuse, and the officers have a long history of abusing suspects into confessing.
Don't worry about it.
Why not?
We know cops are torturing suspects in Area 2. But we have a long history of looking the other way.
Why?
We're prosecutors. And we work with the police to prosecute people. The cops at Area 2 are very good at getting confessions.
How does our office get away with that while knowing full well what's going on?
We bend the truth. Even if that means getting or allowing the officers to lie on the witness stand to say that the confessions were given freely or willingly.
I don't want to be involved in any wrongdoing. I don't want to send an innocent man to prison or death row.
We've prosecuted a lot of these so-called torture cases over the years. Some of them in the same courtrooms, in front of the same judges at the same time, and with the same complaints of torture.
What happens if he's innocent?
Who cares if he's innocent? We have a job to do. And that job is to work with the police to obtain convictions.
I don't want to participate in having an innocent man sent to prison or executed.
You have a wife and a daughter to take care of, as well as a mortgage to pay. You're a prosecutor, not a defense attorney.
Dick, I don't want to get into any trouble.
Prosecutors don't get into trouble. We have immunity. And prosecutors don't prosecute prosecutors.
Well, I do have a family and a mortgage. And you're trying to become mayor of Chicago.
And I need this win on my resume. We can't lose this case.
Okay. Let's prosecute this guy to the fullest extent of the law. I need to put this on my resume, too, for my career.
Spoken like a true prosecutor.
Act 5, Scene 1, Death Row, Pontiac Correctional Center, Pontiac, Illinois. Emmett is locked inside a cell next door to Ronnie Bounds. June 1st, 1998, 2:30 p.m.
Hey man, what happened with that legal call you have with your attorney?
They denied my appeal today.
That's a damn shame. What do we have to do to get justice? That's some BS.
We gotta do something to stop these people from executing us.
Yeah, you're right.
The courts and prosecutors are standing by these well-known cops, and the only way we're gonna get justice is with people power.
People power. What do you mean?
We gotta come together, get our families, friends, and loved ones. We gotta get them to take to the streets and demand justice on our behalf.
I mean, that's a really good idea.
Well, it's 10 of us here on death row who were tortured by the same cops, and they're going to execute all of us if we don't start getting the people to protest and expose the truth.
We should have our people protest in front of the state's attorney's office and the police headquarters.
Yep. That's exactly right. And especially in front of Richard D's office. He's the mayor now. And he's the top prosecutor when most of the tortures occurred and the cover-ups began.
It is so obvious that Richard D is using his political power as mayor to make sure that the truth about the torture scandal and his involvement isn't exposed.
Right. But political power isn't stronger than the power of the people.
Man. We gotta get the media involved.
No, there's no appetite in media boardrooms to reveal the racist nature of the scandal. You know what? This is one of the largest police corruption scandals in U.S. history.
They've never covered this scandal in the manner in which they should, but we must keep trying, bro.
We gotta start calling ourselves Death Row 10 and call our first protest in front of the police headquarters on September 8th. Yep.
That's 5 months from now.
Okay. That'll give us plenty of time to plan, organize, and get the word out about the protest.
I like that name. The Death Row 10.
Yeah. I'm gonna make sure I make some flyers to announce the protest, and we'll mail them out to our families, friends, and our supporters.
How you gonna make a flyer?
Easy. I'm gonna type our names on a sheet of typing paper, glue some clippings and other things on it, and pay for like 100 copies from the law library. And we can always get more copies.
You know what? I'm gonna send copies to my mom. She would love to get involved.
Yeah. We gotta get organized, or these people are gonna execute us like they did the last 10 people in the state.
I don't want to be executed, especially for a crime I didn't commit.
Yeah, it's something is wrong with the system in this state. We've had 10 executions and 9 guys exonerated who walked off death row and straight to the streets. Like, as long as we keep allowing them to fight in their courtrooms, we're never gonna get justice.
Well, in that case, let's call all the other Death Row 10 members down to the law class that you started to inform them about the plan.
Yo, that's a good idea. I'll put them on the list to come tomorrow.
Justice for Death Row 10! Justice for the Death Row 10!
Hey, remember, we won't receive justice if we don't upset their peace.
No justice, no peace! No justice, no peace!
Look, the only organization willing to help us is the campaigns and the death penalty. I've already talked to Marlene Mars, Alice Ken, and Joanne Parks.
Bro, it was like lawyers or something?
Nah. They're activists who are eager to help the fight against the system.
Man, activism has played played a major role in almost every movement I could think of.
Yeah. So like them, like we have to build a movement around our struggle, and it can't be done in the courtrooms. We must take our fight to the streets, straight to the people.
Act 6, Scene 1, Pontiac Correctional Center, Pontiac, Illinois. News conference in the prison's lobby, January 10, 2003, 2 p.m.
I would like to thank the media and everyone for joining us here today at Pontiac Correctional Center to witness Emmett Tillson's release from death row. Joining me here are the mothers of the Death Row 10 who were crucial in our movement against this unjust system. They courageously stood on the front lines, demanding to be heard and demanding justice for the Death Row 10. This fight would have been impossible without them and their drive to fight for their sons. We would also like to thank Illinois Governor George Ryan for taking this brave step in shining a much-needed light on the Chicago police torture scandal by pardoning 5 members of the Death Row 10. We've been told that Emmett Tilson will be released in a few minutes and that the other 4 will be released from Stateville later today. Many of us stood in this lobby New Year's Eve 2000 with the Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. and the mothers of the Death Row 10. After our visit with the members of the Death Row 10 to call on Governor Ryan to take action in these cases. It turned out to be a very moving and very emotional visit. Let me start off by saying that I did not, and let me repeat that, I did not believe when I heard about these torture scandals. I didn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. Would you believe that a bunch of white cops who had tortured over 180 black detainees and suspects from the early 1970s to the mid-1990s into signing false and coerced confessions that were used to send them to prison and death row? I even refuse to believe that the torture scandal, according to the federal judge, was common knowledge within the police department, prosecutor's office, and to the courts. But nothing, absolutely nothing, was being done to give relief to those who were tortured or to bring the torturers to justice. Everybody knew about it, but nothing was being done about it. I refused to believe it until I personally reviewed the extensive record that was being documented and it was undeniably confirmed by many reputable sources. It is amazing how many cops, prosecutors, judges were involved in this scandal and turned a blind eye to it. They were going to allow these guys to be executed. The Death Row 10 members were fighting for justice on the inside, and we were fighting for them on the outside. But we were up against an unrelenting, broken, corrupt, and deeply racist criminal justice system. We held many protests, rallies, sit-ins, and press conferences to expose the truth and to push back on the web of lies of corruption. It was a grassroots fight against the top political establishment in the city of Chicago, and activism led all of us to this historical moment. Please, please remember that we're still under a state of emergency, and therefore, we are calling on the governor to clear out Illinois' death chamber. And it will be coming out right now. Emmett, would you like to say a few words to the media before we leave?
Yes. Please forgive forgive me if I seem unhappy, because I'm not. I was kidnapped by Chicago police, tortured, literally tortured into signing a false confession and sentenced to die. How can I be happy when I spent the last 16 years with a rope around my neck while trying to stop the state of Illinois from lynching me? I stand here today not because of the so-called safeguards in the system. Those alleged safeguards failed me the entire 16 years because the system was designed to entrap and imprison, not release people from this sadistic grasp. How can I be happy when other members of the Death Row 10, possibly innocent men who were also tortured, are still on the other side of that wall? I gave them and other Death Row prisoners my word that I would not abandon their struggle or leave them behind. I'm in this fight, and change is going to come, but we must continue to fight for it.
Emmett, tell everyone what's the first thing on your agenda.
Hey, look, I'm gonna take a long, long hot bath and pig out on some home-cooked meals by my mom's. She prepared for me. Yeah, it's gonna be good. And then tomorrow, I'm going to City Hall to confront the guy who sent me to death row, Mayor Richard D., and demand that he resign. His actions and inactions allowed this human tragedy to balloon out of control. Change is coming.
Scene 2, Area 2 Police Headquarters, January 10, 2019, 3 p.m.
The scales of the atrocity that occurred in that police station, the House of Screams, is beyond unconscionable. My wife and our neighbors, we simply did not know what was going on right underneath our noses. I am deeply troubled, and you should be too, that all three branches of government, on the local, state, and federal level, play a significant role in either covering it up or protecting the torturers. None of the 30-plus officers were ever charged. They all got away with it. And they are still collecting their pensions and benefits. The ringleader, John Byrd, was convicted in 2010 of perjury for lying under oath about the scandal. He served just 4 years in federal prison. And incredibly, he was released while some of his victims were and still in prison. We put on this play to tell the world about this great American tragedy. This is Black history. This is American history. And the world needs to know. Black Americans' unjust encounters with law enforcement in this country is nothing new. It's been going on for hundreds of years. And thanks to cases like Mike Brown and Ferguson, don't shoot, don't shoot. Eric Garner in New York, I can't. Laquan McDonald in Chicago, and the cover-up. And the cover-up. And the cover-up. Breonna Taylor, Louisville. and George Floyd in Minnesota. Off my neck. Off my neck. Those were just a few, but there are countless of others. The world is finally witnessing what is going on in these United States. I believe the world can actually hear our desperate cries for justice. We know that change is coming when you see black, white, Asian, and brown people of all races, creed, and ages marching around this great, big, beautiful plane of ours and proudly proclaiming that Black Lives Matter. Yes, we know that white lives matter. We know that blue lives matter. We know that all lives matter. But in America, time and time again, for hundreds of years, America has to be reminded that Black Lives Matter too. I know sometimes change is difficult. It's hard to complete change. It's hard to make change. But the fight has been going on for a long time now. My greatest grandfather, who was on the barrel of a ship, my brother, Mr. Douglas, my brother Malcolm, and so many others have been fighting over and over for change. You can't stop change from happening. It's like a river. You just got to keep fighting for change. I left some brothers behind that's trapped on death row, that's trapped in isolation, solitary confinement. The mental health care and the healthcare system behind these walls is so damn bad. It is incredible. On behalf of my brothers that's listening, and my brother, and I know that he is listening, change is gonna come. And when I say change is gonna come, I need you all to repeat after me, so my brothers can hear you all. When I say how long, I need you all to say not long. Change is going to come. How long? How long? Wait a minute. My brother's behind the steel door in solitary confinement probably can't hear y'all right now. Change is going to come. How long? How long? Thank you.
King Kwan, one more time.
Can we turn that up? The wrongly accused are assumed to have threatening mannerisms. Fear is the catalyst of death for people who look like me.
Port Dearborn Park at 18th and Calumet. The officers went to approach the subject. They observed him talking on a cell phone. They asked him to get off the phone so they could interview him. At that time, officers fired, fatally wounding the offender.
Mama begging holler, tell you what the problem got. Body round shots when they kill my heart. Let them listen, standing in a paper. So walk from the minimum, guilty like my old pillar. I can hear my head, I'm trapping with it. Incident, I'm working for all the reasons on my own. Yeah, it's a goofy bitch saying, looking like a breath. 20 lives in prison to your chest, I pump on every breath. Screaming rain, running from my list, I'm an exorcist. Why you start to twitch? I know so much turn on once as intended every minute. This a message, I ain't on the edge already. Lost my grip, leave a crunch into your dome. Say this ass that I be on. Bloody aches in my soul. Need it like an iron home. Take his soul to the Lord. Call me Shane Stone. Get a semen on your tombstone. Boogie at your funeral, bitch. Weapons, no protection, Danny, when I blood it, no! 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. Hell no, not will, nah. Stop me, go back down. I'm like, hey, it ain't what your man got, no, nah. If that's gonna happen, your ass in, go all the way off.
I appreciate y'all time. Thank you for this opportunity to stand up. Thank you for this opportunity, Theater Y. Thank you to the theater. I would now like to give the floor to my brother Law once again.
You go ahead, start. Yeah. It feel like stress be my best friend now. Stress be my best friend now. It feel like stress be my best friend now. Stress be my best friend now. I can't be alone because stress don't leave. Nah, because stress don't leave. I try to shake it, but it keeps on following me. Damn, it keeps on following me. See, I don't like this company I keep. He the reason why I can't find time to sleep. People telling me, hey, don't let it get too deep. But that's funny, cause I'm drowning in it. The irony, I try to go to counseling, but that shit ain't free. Try to tell my homies, they say that shit ain't me. Me and my girl into it, we don't speak, and my mama no help, cause she angry like me. Stress knocking at my door, I gotta open up. He broke it down last time, and I ain't got enough to fix it no more, cause I'm trying to save up. For what? To get me some help. But until then, stress be my best friend now. Stress be my best friend now. It feel like stress be my best friend now. Stress be my best friend now. It feel like stress be my best friend now. Now, stress be my best friend now. It feel like stress be my best friend now. Stress. Yesterday, all I ate was depression. I got you though. I'm gonna get back to you, bro, in a second. That's why I'm telling people when I don't wanna talk. Lay in bed all day cause I don't wanna walk. Or better yet, go anywhere. Up at this blank ass ceiling, I still trying to find my purpose, trying to fight these demons, contemplating life. Should I stay? Am I leaving? Going through all this bullshit. What's the reason? Trying to hit the plug for drugs, for pain easing. This shit ain't easy. In fact, it's a mess. I got this heavy ass feeling resting on my chest. Hold on, wait. I just got a text. From who? Fuck, it's stress. I feel like stress be my best friend now. Stress be my best friend now. It feel like stress be my best friend now. stress be my best friend now. It feel like stress be my best friend now. Now, stress be my best friend now. It feel like stress be my best friend now. Stress be my best friend now. If I was your best friend. Thank you.
Damn, I hope Tress don't be my best friend.
I'm going to introduce you, Stanley. Stanley is a Chicago police torture survivor who spent 39 years in prison. 16 of them on death row in Illinois for crimes he did not commit. While incarcerated, he received a GED, legal assistant, paralegal diploma, commercial custodian, and 3 construction certificates. He taught himself criminal law, organized and instructed law classes, and assisted many prisoners with their legal filings. Founded the Death Row Campaign with other John Birch torture survivors, formed Prisoners Against the War in Stateville, which led to letters of support being sent to U.S. troops in Iraq and Afghanistan. He also wrote many opinion articles over the years, a play, and authored the celebrated book, Tortured by Blue, the Chicago Police Torture Story. Stanley was released from prison in November of 2023. As a paralegal prisoner advocate, an ambassador for the Illinois Prison Project, works with the Chicago Torture Justice Foundation, and is seeking a bachelor degree on organizational leadership and change in Chicago Unbound. The former jailhouse lawyer is a social justice advocate that's extremely passionate about ending capital punishment, mass incarceration, tearing down prison walls, and being a voice for those trapped inside. He would like to read something to you now.
Well, y'all don't do that. I'm kind of salty on y'all. I'm crying. Some of you all have already heard me read this before, but there's a lot of people here that haven't heard me read this before. The night before I got out of prison, after 39 years and 1 day, I wanted to talk to the kid that they arrested, 21-year-old Stanley Howard. So I sat down to write a letter to them while everybody else was in the cell trying to take everything I had that I was leaving behind. You had stuff, but I was more so keyed in on trying to hug this kid that they arrested. And I want to read this letter. On my way out of the prison, I mailed the letter to myself. And when I got home, I put it on top of my portrait in my family room, and it stayed there for a whole year until Bill and Alice, Kim, threw this great party for me on my 1-year anniversary and my first birthday party ever. So, they didn't know I was going to read this letter. My wife didn't know it either. And I pulled it out of my jacket pocket and opened it in front of everybody. And I read this letter, which was also published in the Tribune sometime later. I really don't want to do this again because I know it's going to happen.
You got this.
You got it. Take your time.
An open letter to 21-year-old Stanley Howard. Dear Stanley, did you know that on November the 1st, 1984, the day of your arrest, your whole life, and life as you know it, is going to drastically change? I'm sure you have no idea about what is about to take place. So I'm traveling from the future to fill in some of the blanks for you. The Chicago police is going to shoot at you, according to their official shot fires report, over 30 times. And one of the cops is going to shoot at you 5 times at point blank range between 2 houses. And each of the bullets is going to miraculously miss you by inches. I know you're going to be scared, but don't worry. You're going to get through this. On November the 2nd, you're going to experience an ordeal that you would never imagine would occur. The police is going to beat, slap, kick, and suffocate you with a plastic bag and typewriter cover, and you're going to be so scared that you're going to sign a confession to a murder and crimes you did not commit or knew nothing about. I know you're going to be scared, but don't worry. You're going to get through this. You're going to spend a lot of time from November 1984 to April 1987 in the Cook County Jail in the midst of the kind of violence and worse conditions that no human being should ever have to endure. Every day of your life is going to be in jeopardy. I know you're going to be scared, but don't worry. You're going to get through this. While facing death every day in the Cook County Jail, you're going to be sentenced to death in the courtroom where you knew the judge had something personally against you. But you just didn't know what. And to everyone's surprise, you're going to start laughing so hysterically and uncontrollably right after the judge announced that sentence. I know you're going to be scared, but don't worry. You're going to get through this. Yes, your first trip to prison is going to be on death row in Pontiac, Illinois. And being confined in the cell for so many hours of each day, 23 out of 24 hours a day, is going to test you beyond belief. While surrounded by guys that's so frustrated, depressed, angry, stressed out, and doing their best to maintain some sense of sanity while trying to survive. I know you're going to be scared, but don't worry, kid. You're going to get through this. You would never believe that you would be executed. But seeing other prisoners being executed is going to shake your core and bring you to the realization that there's a real possibility that they may kill you for a crime you didn't commit. Listen, a lot of people that were major figures in your life before your arrest, including family, friends, and loved ones, are going to carry on with their lives without you. Some are going to pass away and leave you feeling like you were alone, abandoned, forgotten, and not important, which is going to push you to the point of an emotional meltdown. In the midst of this darkness, you're going to turn your pain and suffering into a bright spot and a power source. You're not going to believe it, but you're going to get your GED. You're going to earn a paralegal certificate, commercial custodian construction certificate. And believe it or not, you're going to actually fall in love with fighting against the criminal legal system and fighting for your freedom. You're going to help other guys get out of prison and even teach some of them what you know about criminal law and paralelism. You're going to earn and receive the love and respect from a lot of people, especially prisoners. You're going to view a lot of them like family. You're going to turn into the kind of man that even though you're still in prison, I think this is important. You're going to turn into the kind of man that even though you're still in prison, your mom and dad is going to tell you how proud they are of you. In fact, it's going to bring you to tears in the visiting room. You're going to fall in love and actually marry a woman who loves you beyond belief, who is actually going to wait for you to be released 18 long years. Looking back on your life, I cannot say that I was proud of the kid that you were, but I can say that I'm very proud of the man that you became. I know you're going to be scared, but don't worry. You're going to get through this. And you're about to get released and start a brand new life. Keep your head up. Stay strong. And I love you, kid.
The actors are going to take a seat on the stage in case anyone has any questions for Stanley mostly, but if they have questions for anyone else, they're there too.
Yeah, man, I was,
And maybe Stanley, since you can see the room better than I can, do you want to call on hands?
We have a hand all the way there.
Yeah, I was just curious how the music came together. Like, who wrote the lyrics? Are those your lyrics, Stanley, or did you collaborate with these folks? Like, how did the music come into the work?
No, I would never. I don't even think I could write that kind of music. But I think they done a really good job when they first rehearsed it. I'm like, wow, that adds a plus. I got to include that. Even though in prison I used to hold parties for the guys. You got some of the guys that probably remember this. On certain days I used to hold spade tournaments, domino tournaments, and card tournaments. I was telling my brother about this. And I used to hold rap down, so I used to give them commissary for the winter. But I had this thing about the rap. If you was gonna win my money, you couldn't use the word nigga in your rap, and you couldn't kill somebody in your rap. And that was the only criteria. So, but
I would say I want to give a big shout out to Melissa from Theater Wire over there. Me and Kwan are graduates of a school called MC School. Shout out to our mentor Phenom. And we have went on and made music for a lot of different things. Grew as artists, grew as people. Fast forward to today, really how the songs came together was I recently put out a project about my fight against mental health. I'm a 2-time suicide survivor, and my second time trying to take my life after that. I wrote a whole project about different topics I want to talk to a therapist about if I can afford to go to therapy, and relating that to the actual script. I'm sure a lot of mental health issues came up in the time of being in prison, so it was only befitting. And then, of course, the track that you did, I'll let you talk on that, but that was genius as well. It was just tracks that we already had and completed, and just felt like it was the proper setting for such a thing. So, yeah, shout out, rest in paradise to your uncle who was killed by Chicago Police Department, who also had mental.
He was schizophrenic.
be schizophrenic. So, you know, fighting for those type of things, fighting for justice within this corrupt gang that we call Chicago Police Department. So.
How do we get copies of the song?
You can go to our Spotify, my specific Spotify, my name is spelled K-H.
I got to get you afterwards, baby.
Well, if somebody want to shout me out, KHINGKWON, there you go.
I'll let you put it in my phone now.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if there's any way that we all could, I guess it's like a little community stay connected, but I'm the law of Huey, just like the law of attraction, take attraction off the Huey. And you can Google me on any search engine, and the project that I put out is called How Much For Therapy. And the concept around it is, how much does therapy actually cost? Does it cost your life? Things of that nature. So, yeah, how much for therapy with the number 4 as 4. And shout out to the big Stan right here, Stan the man. Thank you.
Any more questions?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
My question to you is, you've only been out for so long, man. What is one of the most eye-opening things that you still try to wrap your head around about, like, where the world is right now? What is, like, it could be cell phones, it could be
easy, man. Telephones, it's technology. I'm like an 8-year-old kid still navigating around new things. And I'm sure Brian Bills and this dude right here, Jimmy Solo, they all going, and Joel, they all going through the same doggone thing I am. As long as Jimmy's going through it, I know damn well I can go through it too.
For sure.
But yeah, it's just some of the little things, man. And like we all always say, I'm still on call. I'm the best, but sometimes just got to do it all the time. But I got a good team that's helping me too at Uptown People's Law Center. And my guy Reese, my co-worker here, he's also here, and he like taking my hand and just guide me through everything I need to do. So I'm quite fortunate for that.
For sure, yeah. Blessings to those who help us stand in there, you know?
Yeah. We got a question right there.
Yeah. Hey, Stanley, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about, so you wrote the book, which I'm also wondering, like, if people want to learn more in depth about your story and the torture scandal, can they buy your book? And also, can you talk a little bit about the process to, like, adapting your book to a play? Like, what made you want to do that, and what was that like for you?
Well, I was writing my story. My story was called The Sworn to Story. I didn't snap since the devil. I mixed the Sworn to Story because I swear it's on the penalty of perjury. And anyone finds anything in the book to be untrue, that is imperative for the state of Illinois for the federal government to charge me with perjury. I got the 5 chapters of that book when the city of Chicago passed the total reparations package. And one of the pillars in there is they teaching a curriculum in 8th grade and 10th grade about this kind of some of the damn teachers don't want to teach it. But I realized and thought to myself that, wait a minute, I was writing the wrong book because I knew that some of these lawyers and so-called scholars was going to get together and tell the story from their point of view, and the story is going to be whitewashed. So I was not writing my book, and I wanted to tell the story about the torture scandal from my point of view, and that's how I write the book, Torture by Blue.
Can they buy it?
Yeah, it's on Amazon, and I sell them out of the trunk. I sell somebody a bottle of water. I know good way I sell a book. I wish somebody had told me 20 years, 40 years ago that I could sell somebody a bottle of water. I probably have Lake Michigan. guy, Alan Stossel in New York, who was helping me with Prison Against the War when I started in Stateville at the George Bush kicked off the war in Iraq. He used to send me a lot of his plays, his short plays, and I'm like, man, I know damn well I can do this. Like, you think you got, man, I know I can do this. It's just imagination. My imagination is warped anyway, so what better thing that I can do other than write about the Tulsa scandal? Because it's part of the mission of being able to tell the world about this scandal. Everybody knows about the Central Park 5 in Chicago, but don't nobody know about the damn Tulsa scandal. So that's what I'm talking about a lot. And since Gina is here also, I guess my play will be put on in the fall, full play, in connection with the Chicago Tulsa Justice Center. And don't forget with the help of Brian Bills, right?
Any more questions?
Let's see.
Hey, look. Did you have any final thoughts or comments you wanted to give out to everybody, Sam?
No, I'm too teary-eyed.
Let it flow.
I thank y'all. I'm just surprised y'all still don't have no question. All right. No, I'm
I'm
just
just endlessly grateful for you.
I'm teasing.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
yeah.
I do. I guess we do have one here.
I wanted to suggest that you all translate this into Espanol and into Polish, and that we do these wonderful staged readings in all of our communities, because the racism that exists in all of our communities needs to know the truth, because there's a whole lot of Chicagoans that don't know, like you said, about the torture scandal, and they need to hear this story. And I'm willing to help you do that.
Thank you, Alice.
Right
I would be remiss if I don't acknowledge Alice Kim in the audience. She came into my life in 1998, and it's been really good. She has stood by me and the team for so long, and to have her around is just like, yeah, she always pushed me, and she gave me the idea, man, I think it would be a perfect fit if you worked at Uptown. Yeah, we should have a meeting with Alan. Let's call Alan Mills. So you can have a meeting. I'm like, you can have a meeting with Alan Mills. And yeah, I know about Uptown. And yeah, let's get some of this stuff together. Give him this, give him that, give him this. He sees some of my work, he got to want to. I mean, come on. And I'm so happy. And I mean, thank you. Thank you all.
One more round of applause. Thank you all so much for an incredible weekend, for supporting us tonight, for being here. Have a great rest of your day, week, year. Join us next year. Wait, hold it.
Everybody, a big round of applause for Kevin.
Yeah. people, start new collaborations, find ways to start new projects between now and next year. We're the ones creating this table. Thank you for showing up. Have a great night.
And have a sent it to him and everything.
Straight here. This is a little bit of a. Just follow me. Walking straight. Now we're going to go down the step.